And another thing. So this is how the video is going to start. So we have been discussing Boulder's route since I just wrapped that up like a minute ago, because shit's interesting. Something that got pointed out to me in chat is that, you know, there's the question of, in Boulder's bad ending, who is talking in that last text box? And my immediate thought is that it probably is not Doc Scratch, because the text was black, and Doc Scratch always talks in white text. Hello? There should be some volume on the desktop. Okay, there it is. There, it's just quiet. Okay. Sorry, got distracted by sound. So, my immediate thought was that it's not Doc Scratch because it's black text. However, as somebody pointed out to me, in the Hiveswap hints, the hint functionality is currently unavailable. Okay, well, I screwed it up by canceling the hint. But, here, let's try this. There's no response. So yeah, the hints in Hiveswap appear to be Doc Scratch because of how snarky, and they have his they have his general voice to them, and so, but they are also still in black text. So the fact that it is black text at the end of Boulder's bad route is not necessarily a sign that. Oh, hey, I didn't even notice that. It's a reused background. It's like this shot, the Friendsim. I did not notice that until just now, that the Friendsim title screen is just this background from Hiveswap, reused. That's interesting. Kind of funny. Never noticed that until just now. Anyway. So, it could still be Doc Scratch. That's interesting. Whoop. There. Okay. But anyway. Also, the other interesting thing is that Boulder's whole route suggests that an alpha timeline for these Friendsims exists, which is interesting because that was not at all clear up until now, and still isn't really clear. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but like, you know, if you've been following along, you've noticed by now, I'm sure, that the Friendsims have at times contradictory allusions to things. Like in one route, there'll be Polypa's good ending and bad ending have both been referenced at different points in volumes since we met Polypa. And so like there's been like some shenanigans with that suggests that there is not any one, and so things like that have suggested that there is not one true timeline of events through the Friendsim, but the fact that we are getting, you know, references to fate and destiny and all that suggests that maybe there is, after all, like one true timeline to the Friendsims. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I just thinking too much about this or not? I don't know. I'm gonna see what other people are saying. How would be involved in this? I think he. Just catching up with the chat now. Yeah, Doc Scratch has some level of unawareness of dark pockets of reality. That's true. He is not omniscient when it comes to splinter timelines. An MSPA reader is probably doing something like he's got to be aware of what we're doing here, right? Because like he has to be. And Boulders wrote it doesn't have the same voice as Doc Scratch. It's only one sentence, so I think it's that's another objection that somebody brought up in chat is that the message at the end of boulder is bad route. It doesn't sound like him, but it's only one sentence. So, I don't know. It's like too little. I think that's too little information to go on to make that particular call. Whether by their own abilities or someone else's, MSPA reader remembers the doomed timelines, or at least some of them. Yeah, like, the fact that... Yeah, that's the other thing, is that, like, why does MSPA reader get a sense of deja vu from Boulder's death? Like, it might not be a timeline thing, it might just be, like, a backstory thing, you know? Anyway, so that's a whole bunch of interesting stuff to think and talk about, and I'm sure the fandom will be all over this volume once more people have a chance to play it. Or see this video, since I know a bunch of people just watch my videos instead of playing The Sims themselves. Which you really shouldn't. It's, I mean, come on. The Friendsims cost $1 a piece. Buy them. Support What Pumpkin. That's not the right button. All right. Yeah, the different volumes cost money. Yeah, it's like every single volume of the Friendsim costs $1 a piece. So the full collection will, at this point, 99 cents specifically. So it's, 50 cents a troll, basically, if you want to break it down like that. Blah, 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 friendship. Stelsa! Stelsa Sezyat. All right, let's get into you. I feel like I owe Stelsa an apology because I'm going to spend her whole route being distracted by thoughts of Boulder and what the fuck her deal is. Anyway. So yeah, if you want all of 13 Friendsims, you'll need to spend $13, which will be $14 in one fortnight when the next volume comes out. But anyway. Okay, so it turns out stealing a car was easily one of your better impulse decisions. You've gotten accustomed enough to its weird insides by now that the squishiness doesn't much faze you anymore. It still feels like the warm stomach of some giant creature. We are actually recording, right? Yes, we are. Good. Very good. It still feels like the warm stomach of some giant creature, but you actually kind of find it comforting. You can just let yourself get enveloped by the seat while the autopilot does its thing. Getting ferried through the streets of Alternia with your feet up on the dash sure beats endlessly pounding the pavement. Sometimes you even throw Serva's stream on your phone if you really want to get the chill vibe going on. What's the phrase? Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, I believe, is the word you're looking for. Getting ferried through the streets of Alternia, blah, blah, blah. People are still discussing the Boulder mystery in chat. Sorry. You're surprised that you haven't been caught yet. Dastardly carjacker that you are, but maybe you're just a better thief than you've always thought. A possible career change to look into if you ever get back to Earth. Yeah, see, like, we are from Earth. Like, I didn't just misremember that. Like, or at least MSPA Raider says they're from Earth. Like, they might not be. Car cat bus? Okay, that's funny. It's funnier than I thought it would be. So somebody draw a car cat bus now? I want to see that. I want to see artwork of car cat bus. just like I imagine cat bus with car cat's angry face instead of a cat face. The downside is that it's a little difficult for you to further your goal of gathering even more friendship from the inside of the vehicle, so you park the scuttle buggy and expose yourself to the menaces of the outside world once again. You're in what looks like some sort of residential neighborhood. It ain't as nice as the Blue Blood neighborhood you've seen, but still nice enough for most of the apartment complexes to have imposing locked front gates and security drones. But of course, you can't take a leisurely stroll on Alternia without something terrible happening. You aren't out here for very long before it starts raining. Shit, damn, and fuck. You ditched the umbrella Tyrion had given you, since it was as heavy as a goddamn club. You see, we have a reference to her bad ending. This is, whoop, sorry. Since it was as heavy as a goddamn club, and now you're super regretting it? Torona. Why did I call her Tyrion? I just called her Tyrion, I think. Oops. And here again, we have referencing her bad ending. Where she just, like, sort of... Not even her bad ending, that was, like, the immediate give-up ending, where she just, like, shoved you out the door with an umbrella. Running for shelter is all you can do, so you make a mad dash for one of the building awnings, huddling uncomfortably underneath it. The rain doesn't let up. You'll have to move soon. The security drones are beginning to look like they're planning on taking a few shots at you for loitering. You need to make a decision fast. Run back to the Scullabully or try and get into one of the buildings. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure I know which one's the correct answer. Yeah, just going back to this... let's see, how are we more likely to bump into a new friend? Are we going to bump into our new friend by running into them on the sidewalk? Or by running into their apartment? Honestly, I could see this going either way. But I think running back to the Scullabully is slightly less likely to succeed. Like, I think we're just going to get back to the well, on the other hand, we might get gunned down if we go into one of the buildings. So, yeah, I think we're going to try to break into a building, see what happens. There's no way you're getting into one of these without a passcode. But wait! You think you see someone coming your way. Perhaps they'll be your knight in shining armor? So what you're telling me is my appointment is cancelled? You're still some distance away, but she's looking right at you. You point at yourself questioningly, thinking she might be talking to you, but then you realize she's wearing a Bluetooth headset. Here, in fact, I'm just gonna stop us right here. Since this is clearly the right way. Yes. Go back to the Scullabully. It's parked a ways down the street, but if you run fast enough, you might be able to make it. You abandon the security of the metal awning, launching yourself back into the minor apocalypse that is regular Alternian weather. You should have been able to guess how this was going to go. The raindrops are too dense for you to successfully dodge them all, and your delicate human body isn't built to withstand nuclear-ass rain. You probably would have had better luck with the security drones. Well, that didn't work. You know, I should have mentioned this earlier, but I was like, it's like, hang on, isn't the rain here acidic? Isn't this like acid rain that we're dealing with? Yep, yes, it is. It is in fact what we're dealing with here. Anyway, let's get back on track, shall we? Jeremy used to be so on the ball. Remember the time he gave me a full-pronged beautifying procedure right after that high blood ripped his arm off? But now he can't bounce back from one little thresher in the abdominal sausages. What happened? That boy's losing his touch. Looks like she's coming back from a jog, if the running shorts are anything to go by. If she's at all bothered by the acid glancing off of her skin, sending dozens of little firecracker sparkles in their wake, she isn't showing it. She seems much more preoccupied by the harried conversation she's having on the phone. Most importantly, she's power walking to the entrance of this building, which must mean she lives here. This is your chance. You shuffle along under the awning, pressing yourself close to the side of the building, bug-like. You sort of wish she'd encountered you earlier when you were dodging rain like a rad action hero. Now you just look sort of cowardly and pathetic. Stelsa is the "I want to speak to your manager, Mom." Especially compared to her, she's striding along like absolutely nothing is going to get in the way of whatever business she's got going on, let alone a few paltry explosions. Actually, she's so focused on her call that she didn't notice you until you're standing right next to her. Such an inconvenience. You can fully expect that I will be taking my business elsewhere from now on. Oh my, what do we have here? She transitions from hanging up the call to talking to you so quickly it makes her head spin. Take this down. Strange little hornless creature parked in front of home, very puny and scared looking. Can only be the alien everyone has been talking about. Such an opportunity can't go to waste. Can't go to waste now, can it? You're confused again. Looking around, you see who you might be talking to, but there's nobody else here. Maybe she's dictating notes to her phone? Look at you. We can't have you wandering around outside like this, darling, can we? Aren't you ravishing? Do give me the name of your stylist. So good to meet you. Here's my card. The name's Stelsa Sezyat. Odd to terrorizer in training for the Alternian Empire. Nice to meet you. Let's walk and talk. Let's not walk and talk outside, please. Love how you're just a minor celebrity now, despite the fact that the penalty for your existence is death. Yeah, that is kind of fun. It's like, oh, it's the alien who should be called on site. Cool, let's meet. I like Stelsa already. She's a go-getter. You didn't realize that borrowed hoodie was that impressive of a look, but okay. She produces a business card with one hand and inputs some numbers into a panel with the other. You take the card. It's a struggle to process what she's saying, respond to her questions, and introduce yourself, all while experiencing the verbal equivalent of getting hit by a truck. How is it possible to talk so fast without taking a breath? You can barely get a word in edgewise. Stelsa continues chattering away as she steps inside and waves for you to follow her into the apartment building's elevator. You do. It's an interesting little transition. So tell me, do you run any businesses on your planet? If you do, I would be more than happy to offer my services if they are services. They are very efficient and affordable, I can assure you. All your legal and financial documents will be checked over in no time. I'll make sure everything is running in tip-top shape. PTA Stelsa. I'm so happy to have run into you. Ever since Zizi told me she met you, I've been asking her to introduce me. Zizi. Which one's Zizi? It's so very important for a professional to continue growing her network. Especially intergalactically, don't you agree? She's still busying herself with the phone while talking to you, texting on its tiny keypad. The name Zizi doesn't ring any bells. You flip through the Rolodex in your brain, trying to remember. Have you really made so many friends that you're starting to forget your names? You're a little impressed with their names. You're a little impressed with yourself. Feels like only yesterday you were crawling around in the basement of a murderess and getting stabbed in the shin with a screwdriver. Just a single friend to your name. Good times. You've come so far since then, it brings a single sentimental tear to your eye. Wait, Stelsa's own name finally starts to register. You've heard it before. This is Tezia's maid sprite! Hey! So she must be talking about Tezia. Zizi, Tezia, I like that. Now I wish I had thought of making that a Tezia mug prior to tonight. Could have shown that off right now. Murderous stabbing. Very fascinating stuff, I'm sure. Yes, I'm referring to my darling Tezia, of course. You're at the door to her hive. She unlocks it, letting you both in. Aw. Okay, hang on. My favorite thing, immediately... Oh, look! Okay, ooh. Okay, so... Okay, so the first thing I spotted that I really like is in the upper right corner, the hang in there motivational poster with the little grub. Can you see that? In the upper corner there. But then in order, the other two things I saw I really like is you see one of Tizia's hoodies on the couch there, which is also very adorable. And then a Super Mario Fire Flower for some reason. And there's a key there too. Actually, hang on. Now I'm just looking at this board. This board is fascinating because I see a knife sticking out of one message. And there's like a key on a chain right above the fire flower. I wonder what that's a key to. Very intriguing. Let's see, anything else? I like the exercise equipment with the textbook on it. Very, very professional. It's like, yeah, that's the other thing is that, like, there's a very clear line down the middle of this room of, like, who furnished which side. Like, you see on, you see the left is clearly, Stelsa's side of the room because it's all neat and organized and has, like, the nice professional exercise equipment. And then on the right side, you see just a complete mess, just shambles. Just like a love seat with a love seat for taking a nap, a sweater, a Mario mushroom. Come in. Welcome to Stelsa Sezyat. Make yourself at home. Can I get you any water? Can I get you anything? Water, grub cake, my rate sheet. I would love to continue our chat while I'm a little less sweaty. Also, acid wreaks absolute havoc on the skin. You know how it is. I'll just jump in the ablution trap for a minute. Please excuse me. Won't be long. And 2 shakes of a quack beast gastral evacuation pillow. Okay. Actually, you wouldn't know how it is, considering what a bucket load of acid falling on you would leave you either very injured or very dead. And she's already gone. You're a little relieved. It's not that Stelsa isn't friendly. She's probably friendly. She just approaches friendship in a way that makes you feel a little like a line on her to-do list that she's in a hurry to check off. Or, well, she seems like she wants you as some sort of work contact, not a friend. But that's okay. You've worn many hats in the pursuit of friendship. Clown cultist, impromptu shoe shopper, murder accomplice. Business associate is one of the tamer ones on the list. Now that you no longer have to keep up with her mile-a-minute conversation, you can take a proper look around her hive. You're not sure what's more perturbing, the sheer amount of pink that's accosting your eyeballs, or the fact that everything is so painstakingly organized that it makes you a little uncomfortable. It's like you merely standing here is disrupting the careful order of the room. Her shelves are crammed full of books, all neatly arranged according to topic, with each topic displayed in a little label on the shelf. She also has lots of posters featuring motivational slogans underneath striking nature photography. The only normal-looking spot in the hive is a coffee table with a mismatch of personal belongings piled on top of it. Books, papers, a jacket. You think that might be a mug? Actually, here, you can take a look at it again now that she's out of the way. Yep, there's another mug. I'm absolutely giving that Tizia a coffee mug. That's like on my to-do list for this week. None of these items strike you as being particularly Stelsa style. The overall effect of that is a very very pink, very neat office cubicle. You almost feel like you should start chugging mediocre coffee and complaining about how much you hate Mondays. So sorry to have kept you waiting. Stelsa reemerges, her hair wrapped in the towel. Well, it's been a blast getting to know you. We should get lunch sometime. Keep the conversation going. I'll pencil you in, darling. But for now, I have a bit of a dilemma to deal with. That sounds worryingly like a dismissal. You sneak a glance at the schedule on her bulletin board. It's a blaze of color with barely any free slots. You don't want to be penciled in. You have no idea when she might be available next, and you need her sweet, sweet friendship now. Maybe whatever problem she has is something you could help with? Unless you're a ludicrously talented beautician, I think not. My usual place bumped me off their list, and right before a very important meeting, too. A girl has to look her best for these things to really knock their socks off. If I want to make arrangements in another salon, I shall have to move fast. No time to waste. Don't you mean water mug? Good point, I do mean water mug. It's not a coffee mug, it's a water mug. Why not use the extra time to do more prep for the meeting? Who needs a beautician when you're around? Honestly, like, lately I've had like a really bad track record of attempting to pick the wrong one. Like you may have noticed recently, but do more prep for the meeting. Actually, no, I did get it right with boulder. Like I did correctly assume the incorrect. I did correctly pick the incorrect response with boulder. Random pick. Who needs a beautician when you're around? This one sounds more fun and slightly more likely to end in failure. You have absolutely no professional beauty experience, but Surva did give you that crash course in crafting great looks. Stelsa is probably after a vibe that's a little less moisture wave, but you're sure you can whip something up. You tell her that you'll help her get ready instead, right here in her hive. Oh! How nice of you. I've never had a house call before. Let's do this. Makeover! She leads you into the next room, rubbing your hair dry as she goes. There's a Recupsicoon in her... there's a Recupercorn in her corner, and a vanity on the other side, in the other, with an array of poofs, brushes, and other mysterious implements spread out on its surface. Some of them are disturbingly pointy. and another textbook on the, yes, and another textbook on the beauty stand, of course. Well, you'll be able to figure out what they're all for once you start using them. Stelsa takes a seat in the chair in front of the vanity, folding her hands primly in her lap. So, darling, what do you think? What should we do first? It's all up to you. Getting closer, sadly enough. Have you all like it, but what are you saying? It's like, I'm getting closer with Recupercoon, and people are saying it's sad. It's like, do you prefer it when I mispronounce things horribly? Is that what you are insinuating? It's all up to you. Not this again. Why are you always making all the decisions around here? What you wouldn't give to be able to foist your own life choices off on random people you've just met. It'd be so refreshing. Recupercoon. Polish horns. Style hair. No idea. We're on page 10 now. Okay. Polish horns or style hair? Well... See, here's the... Or like, it's sad that it's closer because it's still awfully pronounced. Okay. Oh, so it's a backhanded compliment, is what it is. Okay, I got you. Okay. So the thing that I am intrigued by with the horns is that there is, of course, the popular fanon that horns are a little bit erogenous zones. I hope that's how that word was pronounced. I'm so self-conscious about how I talk all of a sudden. God damn. It's like... So, like... I kind of want to pick the horn one because we might finally have a canonical answer to whether or not this is going to turn erotic. Yeah, I'm going to pick polish the horns, and let's see if this turns erotic. You got the English word. Here, let me style you, jacks off via head tics. You pick up a velvety piece of cloth, bringing it up to Stella's head. This can only be one. There can only be one thing this is. There's only one thing this can be for, right? Wait, what are you doing with that? Polish your horns to an impressive sheen, of course. They'll be positively gleaming by the time you're done with them. She grabs your wrist with one hand before you can do so. She's deceptively strong, holding you in such an ironclad grip that you can't move your arm at all. You'd been low-key admiring her toned arms earlier, but now you know for sure that that rack of hot pink dumbbells in the living room aren't just for show. Instead of looking pleased with what you propose to do, she looks uneasy, possibly even a little embarrassed. Oh, this is happening. Polish my... You barely get a glimpse of her discomforted expression before she's gracing you with another friendly smile, albeit a bit of a strained one. Oh, yes, we got... FANON has become canon, I think. You know, I think I'm having second thoughts. It's reasonable to expect that an alien like you wouldn't know the first thing about troll grooming habits. My mistake, I should have accounted for such cultural differences. But it's quite alright, I shall figure out something else. Is it just you, or was there a pointed pause before cultural differences? She's getting up again. Wait, what's happening? You thought the two of you were going to bond over a sweet makeover session, but she's pushing you back into the main area of her hive, pretty forcefully, too. Thank you for offering your help, dear. So very kind of you, but I'll manage. Great to meet you. Just wonderful. Call me. Take care. Have a nice day. Toodles. Goodbye. She shoots you another lovely, that clearly fake smile and shoves you out the door. You'll be able to wait out the rain just fine in this hallway, but being sprawled on your ass on Stelsa's welcome mat all by your lonesome just isn't the same as hanging with a new friend. Well, yeah, she's embarrassed. Okay, so yeah. I'm going with implied canon on that one. So it's fucking canon. Oh my god. So this is great. Not necessarily erotic, but clearly intimate. Yeah, I mean... the fans were right. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, look at her little blush on this screen. Oh yeah, I'm calling it now. We have confirmed FANON. High five, everybody. We did it. And the fan artists will go to... All the fan artists have been at it for years. The fan artists did not need another excuse to draw erotic horn polishing. Now they just get to do it with renewed confidence in their canon interpretation of troll anatomy. So the fact that we got a wrong answer here suggests that... So we're going to back up a bit, because I'm thinking that continuing on with the makeup session. I had to stop myself from saying the wrong thing again. I'm going to assume that continuing with the makeup session is the correct course of action, so we're going to back up and do the wrong thing. Why not do some more prep for the meeting? Minda trying to get the good ending last real hard. You bet I am. Excuse me again. You bet I am. That is an excellent idea. I visited this potential client's establishment a wipe ago. What the hell's a wipe? But it was a quick one. I could do well to cast my gander balls around the place properly. It's pretty much in the bag, but this meeting is the clincher, and there's no way I can flub it. Having Ramal Namek as a client would be too good of a cluck-beast plum in my planet for me to chuck the opportunity in the low gapper. Oh, is that... Yeah, it's our old artist friend, right? Ramal? You totally know her. How about that? Yes, I would hope you did, darling. She's only been splashing all over the papers lately with that stunt of hers. Buying out her competitor like that. I've never heard the likes of it before. She's flitting around her hive now. She speaks, nipping into what you assume is her bedroom to blow her hair dry before shuffling some papers into a handbag. You tail her as best you can, feeling... Cat's in a playful mood tonight. Speaking of cats, you tail her as best you can, feeling a bit like a pet cat underfoot who's threatening to trip her at every turn. Maintaining a career as a successful yet relatively avant-garde artist is very different to assuming ownership of and managing the museum. And she has made it work. So she just bought the museum? That was like stealing her stuff? Whoa, sounds like Ramala's been busy since the last time you saw her. You clarify that Ramala is a friend of yours, actually. Stelsa stops in her tracks. Really? Why didn't you say so in the first place? You should come with me. Getting the 411 and Ramala from a friend of hers would really give me a frond up. What do you say? You're not sure there's much you can tell, Stelsa, about Ramala, eh? You're pretty sure Ramal doesn't want... I keep going back and forth on that E. It's a silent E. I know it's a silent E. It's got to be a silent E. You're pretty sure Ramal didn't want an auditor in training, or, well, anyone really, knowing that she's an art thief. But, why not? There has to be some... There has to be some stray info about Ramal knocking around the old noggin that might come in useful. Up. That sound you just heard was the cat's toy going under the couch. And now he's like jumping back and forth over the couch trying to get to the toy. Marvelous! Come on, you can tell me on the way. She takes your hand and pulls you out the door. Your upper Stelsa arrived and you're totally not stolen scuttle buggy. It's still raining. But she sealed you both with an umbrella that's almost as big as you are as you walk to where it's parked. You get in, put some tunes on for the road, and head off. With a cracked windshield. Once you're on your way, you admit to Stelsa that most of you are in Ramala's conversations just involve her bouncing ideas off of you for her webcomic, but you're still happy to answer any questions she might have about Ramala's overall deal. Is that blood spatter in the windshield I just noticed? You're expecting her to be disappointed, but her eyes practically light up. What a privilege! To be completely truthful, I am quite the fan. I've been following her webcomic for a while. She admits this kind of sheepishly. Does she think that liking comics is embarrassing? Of course not! Okay, maybe a little. It seems irresponsible to spend time on something as flippant as a comment on the internet when I have so much other business to attend to. Lots of irons in the fire over here. Achievements don't achieve themselves, you know. Maybe, but hobbies and downtimes are important too. You never feel more arrested than after you've let yourself do absolutely nothing but enjoy a good comic. What? She looks at you blankly. You know, rest. Oh, I always make sure to get enough recuperation in every day. No concerns there, to be sure. Looking at you, Homestucks. What you're talking about is a bit different from getting enough sleep. But you try a different tact. Why is she taking this job with Ramal anyway? Isn't she busy enough with her training? Well, sure, I have that internship with the Alternian government, but, well, there can never be enough experience under one's belt. You're beginning to see what the problem is. You get the feeling that Stelsa might be a bit of a workaholic. Just vaguely. Has she ever considered... You're so involved in trying to convince Stelsa of the merits of getting her chill on that you don't realize there's anything wrong. Not until Stelsa lets out a screech that almost bursts your eardrums. Fiddlesticks, we can't go this way. There's road work happening here. The scuttle buggy must be operating with an outdated map. Switch it to manual and turn us around. Quick, quick! The roadwork Stelsa is referring to is a bridge with a "Do Not Enter" sign hastily put up. Beyond the sign, the bridge is peppered with enormous holes. Some look big enough for the entire car to fall through easily. Oh, this is an interesting way for this thing to fail. People are referencing the vine now. Roadwork ahead? Well, yeah, I sure hope it does. Although, from the sound of things, this road does not work ahead of us. What are you waiting for? Hurry! You don't know how to drive. There's just one small problem. You can't drive. Oh! I love this face. Fudge nuggets! Stelsa presses a few buttons, switching the car controls to manual. You grab the wheel, turning it wildly. Your only goal is to make sure that you don't drive into the death bridge. You probably should have paid attention to the steep slopes curving away from the road. What? Oh, God. Yeah. You both yell as the scuttlebuggy zooms downward at full tilt. Miraculously, it doesn't tip, but it does slam into a power line, sending the two of you lurching forward. If it wasn't for the unnervingly lung-like airbags that inflate in front of you, you would have shot out the front window. Anxiously, you ask if Stella is okay. Stelsa doesn't seem too concerned about whether she's injured or not. She's making a futile attempt to push the airbags out of the way so she can get out of the car. There's no way I will make my meeting on time now. Yet Stelsa say fuck 2018? Yes. And I look an absolute mess. She's right. Her hair, which was all gentle soft tufts before, is sticking up in all directions, and her glasses have smashed in the collision. Why did I think this was a good idea? I should have just walked. Thanks for nothing. The car might have survived the crash, but if Stelsa's cranky expression is anything to go by, your buddy friendship with her wasn't as lucky. Fashion faux pas? Well, that was an adorable failure. Alright, let's get back on track, shall we? There. Style their hair. Let's do some hairstyling, shall we? The first order of business should be drying Stelsa's hair. Make it happen. You pick up a funnel-shaped doohickey that looks like it might be a hairdryer, fumbling around for a button. There isn't one, but you manage to turn it on by giving it a good squeeze. The mouth of the funnel opens up wide, emitting a hot blast of air along with a hoarse animal yell. You think you might actually see teeth inside. Just don't think about it too much. This is like a Flintstones setting, is what Alternia is. That's the best you can do when it comes to literally any Alternian gadget. Thankfully, the noise soon fades to a low hum. Here, use this. Stelsa passes you a piece of thorny bramble. It looks painful, but when you begin brushing Stelsa's hair, she sighs happily. Interesting being in this position for once. When Teasy is over, usually I'm the one doing this. Aww. You try to imagine Teasy letting someone give her a sweet dew. Even when it's her girlfriend in question, you have a hard time picturing it. Aww. It still sounds adorable, though. I want the fan art of this. Stelsa laughs. She has a surprisingly pretty musical laugh. Oh no. My dear Zizi isn't one for involved beauty rituals. She literally doesn't let me do more than just brush it, but it's still relaxing. Sliding the brush through Stelsa's hair is pretty relaxing. Just making sure it doesn't look like a bird's nest. Yeah, probably. That's the best ZZ will accept. Sliding the brush through Stelsa's hair is pretty relaxing. You allow yourself to zen out for a moment before shaking yourself out of it, casting around for something to talk about. That's what good hairdressers do, right? Strike up casual conversation. Your eyes fall on an open book sitting on the table. It's the only object there that doesn't have anything to do with hair care or beauty, so it stands out like a sore thumb. Just like the items on the coffee table, it's strewn too haphazardly to look like it belongs to Stelsa. You think you see some of the tabs Tezia was using in the notes for her group project. And if you look even closer, you think you catch the words Revolt and History in the pages in the page header. Right. As Tezia's mate sprite, Stelsa probably has big plans for dismantling the system from the inside too, after she becomes an auditor. You remark that you think it's really cool what she and Tezia are doing. It might be scary to stick it to the man like this, but someone has to do it. Okay, it's not exactly light conversation, but talking to Tezia about this had been so enlightening, if sad, and you really bonded over it. Maybe you'll be able to bond with Stelsa the same way. But Stelsa only looks confused. Then her eyes flick down to the book, just for a second, before she reaches out, smartly snapping it shut and swirls it away in one of the drawers. The sound of the drawer slamming makes you jump, and you narrowly avoid pulling Stelsa's hair. I'm quite sure I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, probably not best to open with the talk of, I mean, gauge your audience a little, even if, you are on the right track there, it's probably best not to open with the talk of open rebellion. Just saying. Quite sure I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sticking anything anywhere. Definitely not to any man. It's the most lesbian thing I've heard since the last time I read Kanaya's dialogue. And neither is Tezia's. Is Tezia. She's sitting straight and tense in the chair now, her voice soaring to a high, bordering on hysterical pitch. Oh no, she probably doesn't know you're on their side. Tezia might not have told her about your conversation. It's okay, you're not going to tell anyone. You're sworn to secrecy. But Stelsa averts her eyes, a stubborn set to her chin. Again, I have no idea what you're talking about, not a single clue. Tezia and myself are both law-abiding subjects of the Empire. We don't dabble in such foolish things as sympathizing with rebels. What could that possibly accomplish? She wrings her hands distractedly. We do things the way we do in Alternia for a reason, darling. Without the hemospectrum and the roles we each need to play, why, the world would be plunged into complete chaos. Can you even imagine? Trolls running around not knowing which way is up, doing whatever they please. No one to tell them what their place in the world is. She goes from hand-wringing to gesticulating wildly, almost knocking over a roll of jars off the table, positively frantic at the prospect of societal breakdown. It's better for everyone this way. I truly believe that. You're beginning to realize that you might have put your foot in your mouth. Just a little bit. Stuffed a toe or two in that gob of yours, maybe. She sounds way too earnest for this to be a cover-up. Could it be possible that Stilla really does side with what Tezia's called her, the Convents? And that she doesn't know about Tezia's underground research after all? But the book was right there. You're so confused. Talking about this is clearly distressing Stelsa, though, so you drop it. Focused on finishing her hair instead. It's pretty soft now that it's dry. You're not sure you've styled it correctly, but she seems pleased. Great work. Nice. Fantastic. You did an excellent job. You glow at the praise. You'd say thanks, but she's already passing you a bottle of nail polish. She really wants you to go all the way, huh? You twist it open and get to work. You're too focused on not smudging the teal color over the stately points on her claws to talk, but Stelsa breaks the silence. I have a question for you. You nod, sticking your tongue out in concentration. So I have this acquaintance. This is the most tentative you've heard her so far. You weren't sure her vocal cords were capable of it. They're in a quadrant with someone who harbors views that most would consider subversive, if not outright treasonous. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So what does your friend want to know? She's obviously talking about herself and Tesia, but you don't want to point that out in case she gets upset again, so you just nod along thoughtfully. I have this friend, totally not me. She didn't always. The maid sprite, I mean. It will blow over at some point. She must just be going through a difficult phase. But in the meantime, she could get into so much trouble. Stelsa's lower lip wobbles like she's about to cry. You chew on the inside of her cheek, of your cheek, trying to figure out what to say. Talking to Tesia very much did not leave you with the impression that it was a phase. Let me try that. Talking to Tesia very much did not leave you with the impression that it was a phase. She sounded pretty serious. Does Stelsa's friend have any idea that this is going on? She looks at the drawer. So do you. Nope. You resist the urge to massage your temples. No idea at all. Absolutely not. Okay. Sure. You can do this. A good first step might be for a friend to face up to the issue. You know, if there's the chance they have the tiniest inkling of what might be happening, so the two of them can talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah, you're no expert, but open discussion probably helps with relationship problems quite a bit. Plus, you ruminate to yourself, the more you think about it, the less it seems that Tesia leaving her controversial book out like that was an accident. It was right in front of Stelsa's chair, after all. Maybe Tesia wanted Stelsa to see it. You'd slicked the last bit of color into onto Stelsa's pinky claw a while ago, but you're both too wrapped up in the conversation to suggest that you move on to something else. She lets the polish dry while the two of you continue to talk. Yeah, it said she has claws. Like, this has been a thing for a while, that trolls have claws. Not just... Despite the artwork, they are claws. But my friend does not agree with her mate sprite's sentiments. Discussing it would just cause unnecessary friction, wouldn't it? Maybe, but even so, addressing the issue is probably better than pretending it isn't there. Besides, quadrant mates can coexist regardless of differing beliefs, right? Yeah, you don't sound convincing, even to yourself. But the platitudes seem to comfort Stelsa somewhat. Maybe you're right. Carefully, mindful of her just-dried nails, she wipes away a few tears, much to your horror. Was that the wrong thing to say? But then you notice that she's smiling. I've not spoken about that to anyone before now. Telling you about was lovely. It was truly a load off my, bellow sac cavity. I'm sure my friend will be grateful as well. I shall relay your advice accordingly as soon as I can. You smile back at her weakly. You haven't been able to relate to very much when it comes to Alternian life. But boy, can you relate to relationship drama. And trolls sure seem to have plenty of it. You hope everything turns out alright. For her friend. Still, her voice is all sniffly and her eyelashes still wet. You retrieve a frilly box of hand tissues and hold them out to her, hoping that will help. She pulls out a few and blows her nose on them with a sad honking noise. I should finish getting ready. She seems reluctant to get up, though. You'd probably be the same, knowing you had to head into a serious business meeting after spilling your heart like that. Experiencing emotions is tiring. Ain't that a mood? Eventually, though, Stelsa musters up enough energy to get to her feet. Much to your surprise, instead of immediately rushing off to complete her next pre-meeting task, she pulls you into a tight hug. Aw. Thank you. You're a real friend. And there it is! Not colleague, not potential client, but that wonderful friendship word. Aw. Friends forever. Little diamond. She must have been really worried. Oh. Another Moirail ship under our belt. And she's another blood player. Interesting. So yeah, she's Durst blood, which is interesting because if I remember correctly, Tesia was Prospit blood, correct? That was Tesia's sign. So like they're both blood aspects, despite Stelsa's reservations about the whole rebellion sentiments. She is still a blood player. Hi, kitty. What are you doing? No, stop. Don't play with that. Don't play with that either. So that's interesting. Sign of the Worshipper. Are blood players naturally shouty? I'm British. No. My cat's being distracting again. Here. Look at that. There. Look at that. Okay, so that was... So we had two very interesting routes there. We helped Stelsa with some relationship drama, which was... Well, is this really a diamond ship, or is this more of a... I suppose, like, being the auspice is more for navigating black ROM rather than red ROM. And yet we did do some relationship advice, which is much more of a club kind of situation. Anyway, so we had two very interesting routes this week, especially boulders, with some interesting implications for everything that's going on here in the Friendsim. Like I've been saying this for months now, that there's probably more to these Friendsims than meets the eye. Like, this seems to be more than just a fun little side thing. Like, something's up. Like, something's seriously up. And Boulder is the first one to really make that, is the first character to really bring that reality into the limelight. So, yeah. I'll be seeing you in a couple weeks for the next Friendsim. Actually, do I have that Friday off? I don't remember. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, big mystery here. Mysteries on top of mysteries. Yeah, but they'll have to hold up until volume 14. So, yeah, I'll see you at the next volume. Bye-bye.